Hey guys, Dr. Ducey here, MTFUcoach.com. How are you? Denise and I are 5-year anniversary today, and then my birthday in several days. I'm going to be 56 years old, and it's great. It beats the alternative of not turning 56 years old. And I want to talk about pain today, and pain that keeps you out of the gym, or pain that can keep you out of the gym, but I've got to tell you, ultimately, I'll explain to you how nothing should really ever keep you totally out of the gym. In any event, being on this planet long enough like I have, look, in the gym, I have never, in over 4 decades of training, been hurt in any way whatsoever. That's not a boast, because then I bring, bad karma on myself, and tomorrow a dumbbell falls on my head or something. I've never sprained anything. I've never herniated anything. I've never torn anything. Thank God. Lord knows I've had all kinds of injuries outside of the gym with my 20+ orthopedic surgeries. You've heard me talk about that ad nauseum. But look, younger guy versus me. He's got newer equipment. It's fresher. The hormonal panel is more potent. I've got to do a lot more work and have a lot more strategy to be able to keep progressing forward, which is what I do and which is what you should be able to do. That's the right thinking that you want to engage in. You don't want to just think you're trying to maintain, you're trying to stand fast against the rigors of time. You want to get ahead of yourself, and if you think that way, you will. But when you have a painful condition, whatever it might be caused by, listen, a lot of people, they'll train through it and they'll make it worse, and they think there's some type of beastliness about that. That's stupidity. Or you'll just avoid that part of the body. That doesn't necessarily have to be done either. Or you'll just quit, and that'll be it, and you'll never go back. And I don't know if that's good either. First of all, I don't like the word pain. I prefer discomfort. We want discomfort. You want discomfort in life in general, in your endeavors, in your projects, in your work, in your what you do each day, because when you stay on edge a little bit, it makes you work. It makes you find solutions. It makes you go forward. You do not want to remain fat, stupid, and happy, either metaphorically or for real. You don't go anywhere. That's inertia, and you might as well just dial it in right now, give up. So pain for me, I've had a lot of pain. Right now, as you know, I work towards my birthday training system. My birthday's Monday. Did I peak? I got in pretty good shape. I'm not at peak form. We've kind of moved the new date to Denise's birthday, which is November 5th. Plus, it looks like I might actually be on Joe Rogan Experience, his podcast, at the end of November. Just got to sell some more books, and I will. So I've got to want to be tip top. I want to be as big as I possibly can, muscular. Because that was the thing, talking to Evan today, who's helping me out, working with me. I approached him, I says, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. My entire career, if it's been a career at all, at 6 feet tall, I cut out at either low 180s or close to 190. I just would like to be bigger, and the effort is certainly there. And we exchanged some ideas, and I sent him my workout. And I'm 3 days on, 1 day off. And he said, that's too much. You got to go to 2 days on, 1 day off. You got to have more rest. And he's right. If I'm guilty of anything, it's an overzealousness, overworking, overtraining, what I tell you not to do. But I do it myself. So what do? I throw my hormone panels off. I produce too much cortisol. My nitrogen balance probably swings into negative more than it should. And ultimately the testosterone is suppressed. So those are the things we're fighting all the time. And I eat to a T, and my training technique is very good, but there's too much of it. So that being said, getting back to the pain, and so we're going to figure that out. I'm shooting now 10 pounds heavier than I am right now of muscle. I think it could be done if I just change a few things that I do. Because I'm not one to lend myself to dogma. If I find that there's something new, it's a kick in the ass when you've been doing something a certain way your entire life, and then you find out when you're 55 that you've been doing, well, you can do better, maybe not wrong. But I'm willing to change because I want to get my goal no matter what. I won't stop until I do. So pain, listen, when I get lean, and I'm pretty lean, I'm low teens right now, probably 11%. For me to be tip top, got to be more like 7 or 8%. But there's changes that occur. When I'm, maybe 13 or 14, which is not great shape, I have more fat. So fat has purposes in the body. It doesn't mean you're just a big fat slob. I mean, you do need a certain amount of fat. Protects the joints. It lends to chemical processes. It fills your body out wherever you might need it, especially if you're a female versus a male. But when you start to lose the fat, when you start to get really, really lean, I tend to feel more pain in my joints. I don't know if it's because I lose fatty pads. I don't know if the synovial fluid is lessened. I don't know if there's less fat over the area, so the area that provides pain is closer to pressure that I might be exerting. But in any event, the lower my body fat goes down, the more pain I feel in, especially, my left elbow actually, right here, the left epicondyle in the elbow. And I'm not feeling it now, and I'll tell you why in a second. This is an area where all the extensor tendons attach in the elbow, and that's the area where you get something called, well, it's lateral epicondylitis. You may know it as tennis elbow. Now, that may seem like kind of trivial, tennis elbow. What can tennis possibly do? Well, it's not just the playing of the tennis. When I get it, it's so painful that I can't let air blow on it, and when it really gets bad. I've had it where, I rub my arm against a doorknob, and I yell in pain. It's very, very painful. But what happens when you have something like that, especially in a joint right here? Well, number one, you lose range of motion. And when you lose range of motion in any part of the body, you're prone to increasing the pain. Because again, you're not pumping the breakdown metabolites out of there, and you're not allowing fresh blood to get down there when you're not moving properly. So a decreased range of motion increases the pain, which decreases the range of motion. It's this vicious cycle. So what do I have to do? I have to decrease the pain. What do a lot of people do? They stop working out. They'll use ancillary or neighboring muscles to move the weight instead, and then they get hurt, or they just quit. And we don't want to see that. You should never, ever quit, no matter what. There's always a way that you can do something. I don't care if you're a quadriplegic and you got to blow on that little thing, move the wheelchair. Just go to the gym and be down there, because it's a positive environment. I'm not even being flipped, because I came close to doing that at one time in my life. So, but what do? I've got to get rid of the pain as quickly as possible. In the past, I've taken Celebrex. Now, it's a pharmaceutical. It's a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. And listen, I'm not against medications, even though I'm a chiropractor. Not at all. They have their place. Absolutely. I'm not some granola head, say no to all meds. That's insane. Then again, we're not a household that has, like the average American household has, 17 different orange bottles in the medicine cabinet. We hardly have any, because we're just kind of fortunate that way. Do I take these? Not currently, because they give me a little bit of intestinal upset, and they mess with my digestion, and then that's a chain reaction, messes with my food, and then who knows what happens. So I've taken to using something called CBD oil. I've talked about it here in the past. This video is not really about this per se. It's a product born from cannabis. It's really in the media big time right now. If you do look into it, you shoot me a question at the bottom at the end. Get a high quality cannabis. You're going to have to spend some money. You can go to the convenience store. They sell it for like $2.99. You might as well eat some Pez candy instead and hope for the best, because that's garbage. It reminds me of a patient I had once, and he didn't want to pay a $20 copay. What a pain in the ass, this guy. And I would never deal with the money, but this guy, I had to. And he's driving like a $90,000 Mercedes, and then he doesn't want to pay $20 for a copay because he doesn't value his health. He values his freaking car more than his health. Get the fuck out of my office. Get out. Get out. You pervert me. You pervert yourself. Please don't do that. You're going to get the CBD oil. Research it. We'll talk more about it. I'll do another video about it. But I take this, I rub it vigorously onto the area during the day, before I go to the gym, and afterward. And after a couple of workouts, the pain is gone. Doesn't work that way for everyone. And the good thing is it seeps into the area that's affected, and theoretically, it doesn't get into the bloodstream. Chemical reaction, how this actually works at an intracellular level, it's still being examined. They're not sure. But all I can tell you is it takes the pain away. I can reestablish my range of motion using the muscles I'm supposed to be using. Pristine form, continue my gains, or stay in shape, whatever it might be. So remember, if you have pain, there's always a solution. You've got to have it diagnosed. You've got to find out what it is. You can't diagnose it on the internet. I never diagnose anything here, as you see. A lot of people ask, and I say, well, I'd have to see you as a patient, even though I don't see patients anymore, because it may not be what you interpret it to be. You may be by accident giving the wrong information. The person you're talking to is usually a jackass that doesn't know anything. So that's insane. Get it diagnosed, do your due diligence, work on it. If you're doing something that causes pain, stop doing it, and get back there and work out. Your questions, thoughts, statements, considerations, your libel or slander is all welcome down there. Give me a thumbs up if you think it's worth it. Dr. Mike Deuce at MTFUcoach.com, and we're going out to dinner. Isn't this sweet? The first restaurant we ever went to 5 years ago tonight. So wish me luck, and hopefully I will not be receiving the H squared, and if you pay attention at all, that equals heave ho. Good night.